running can be a really individualized sport, but
Yeah.
it also can be a really big team sport as well. We teach the girls to cheer their teammates on. When they have finished their laps for the day, they don't just sit down and, start doodling. They're there and they're cheering their teammates on until the very last one crosses the finish line, which I hope is a lesson that stays with them in lots of different ways after the season is over.
Hey, everybody. We've had some of the most incredible guests coming to you these past couple of months. The amount of expertise and knowledge on these cutting edge topics is something we really hope that you enjoy. And if you do, it would make a huge difference to us if you could rate, review, and subscribe the podcast. It helps us to get more guests, better experts, and talk about all of the things that are really important to you. So give us a love, give us a lot of love, and don't forget to subscribe so you get all our new episodes. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Thick Thighs Save Lives podcast. I'm Rachel, and I have a very, very special guest with me today. Cyndi Roy Gonzalez is the Executive Director of Girls on the Run Greater Boston. Welcome, Cyndi.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
We are so excited to have you because, as much of our audience knows, we are get it?
The running puns start early.
Damn, it was like I didn't even when I was 30 seconds in. You guys are a big, huge part of our why for our Miles in March fundraiser. And I am so, so excited to give our audience a chance to hear about your mission at Girls on the Run and all of the amazing things you guys are doing because it is, I mean, we knew we wanted to give back and do some kind of movement challenge in March, but the goal was always to find a way to do it with you guys because we just think so highly of the organization. If you haven't heard of it, it is a nonprofit after-school program for elementary and middle schoolers that inspires that. It's just my niece did it, and I have such a connection to it through her. It inspires this age group to be joyful, healthy, and confident through movement. And I can't get enough of that mission.
It's amazing, right? Joyful, healthy, and confident girls. That is all we're trying to do. It's simple, but so, so important.
It's so simple, but you're right. It's the be all end all goal for all of our young girls in our lives. And I know that you joined Girls on the Run as a volunteer coach in 2018.
Yeah.
So what first led you, like what interests you about the program and why did you become a coach?
Yeah, great question. And it's incredible to think it's been 7 years and how much my own personal life has been transformed through this program. So I, was doing what people do, sitting on the couch, scrolling through Facebook, and saw a call for coaches. And I have been a runner for about 25 years, started as an adult, and had been looking for something to do to give back that was meaningful. I didn't want to just do a one-off volunteer opportunity. I really wanted to do something in my community. And running has given me so much as an adult female. And I really wanted to give back to girls and thought, if I had fallen in love with running at 8, 9, 10 years old, as opposed to running being sort of a punishment when you fail at another sport, what could my life have been like as a teenager? What kind of, athletic experience would I have had? I had no idea that it was so much more than that. And that's actually what kept me coming back after I coached my first season.
Wow, so you're just scrolling through Facebook, thinking about ways that you can translate your love for running into the community and like just there they were.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
So meant to be. When we decided we wanted to organize an event from March, we really, as we said, you guys were the first to come to mind. We really wanted to work with you guys because as a fifth grader, my niece had joined and she had such an incredible experience. My sister Kelsey, who also hosts the podcast with me, did the 5K with her. And there was just so much emotion pouring off of both of their faces. It was just something that I knew that we needed to be a part of. And when I asked her about it, my niece, her name is Nova. When I asked her about it, she said that it really helped her realize that she's not alone
Oh,
and that she has friends to count on.
that that is the best. As somebody who pours her life into this day in and day out, that's exactly what we're hoping for. It's crazy. There was a study done a couple years ago that found that self confidence, particularly in girls in fifth and sixth grade, has dropped something like 20% since 2017. And so to hear Nova say that she doesn't feel alone and that she feels connected, that's exactly what we're trying to do through Girls on the Run.
Just hearing a girl, I know anybody who knows girls that age, hearing them say the words, I no longer feel alone is just, that's the foundation for everything, all of the greatness that we want to build in these girls. But it has to come first from a feeling, I think, of not feeling so alone and out there, which is really hard at that
Absolutely.
age.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hitting kids this feeling of sadness and loneliness at a younger and younger and younger age. And so that's why our program starts at age 8, because we're trying to combat what may very well happen if girls aren't given the tools that they need to be able to make new connections and to deepen friendships. So I love that, and I hope that she still feels that after the program as well.
She absolutely does because these are the kinds, this is what I love about you guys. These are the kinds of lessons that are staying with these kids.
Right.
And I want to give you a second to talk about, sort of the mission, the overall
Sure.
mission of Girls on the Run and the impact that you guys want to have on these young girls in these communities.
Yeah, thank you. So, our mission, as you said, is to inspire girls to be joyful, healthy, and confident. So, what does that mean? What we're trying to do is give girls the tools that they need so that not only in the 8 to 10 weeks that they have to experience the program, but for life, they can face difficult challenges head on. They have an understanding that they can be intentional in their decision making. Um, they learn how to be within a community. So there's a community impact portion of every season where girls give back in some way that's really meaningful to them. So it's funny because Girls on the Run is a bit of a misnomer, and that it's not just about running. It's about so much more than that. We inspire girls, I hope, to set big goals and to go after them, and to know that they are capable of anything they put their minds to. And we've, in the Greater Boston Council, have served 18,000 girls over the last 15 years. We're a nationwide program. We've served over 2.5 million girls in the last 29 years. There's such a demand for this program, and it's our goal in Boston and throughout the country to continue to grow and serve as many girls as we can.
That is a huge, huge impact. And like you said, the mission and the kinds of things that we're instilling in that many girls is literally life changing. And I just want to thank you for that because it's just everything. It's just every little thing. Um, Bring us through a little bit of the curriculum, lessons, and
Yeah.
activities for our youngest participants. You said we can start at age 8.
Yep.
So, what are our younger girls learning as far as values, and what does that curriculum look like?
Yeah, so there's two programs. There's our program for the youngest girls, 8 third, fourth, and fifth graders. And then we've got a middle school program for our sixth through eighth graders. And the values that they're learning are essentially the same, just in a more age appropriate way through more age appropriate lessons. So first and foremost, we start a season by asking girls to just think a little bit about what makes them them. So the first lesson is what makes me me, and it's so powerful to sit and have a girl think about who are they, what do they like to do, what does make them happy, who do they feel connected to in their lives. An opportunity to sort of not try to be like everybody else and really focus on what makes them outstanding. We teach girls one of the core values or the core ideas at Girls on the Run is that we all have star power. And star power is that sort of essence that lives within each of us that really lights us up and makes us individual in this world. And so we teach girls about activating their star power, doing the things in life that makes them that make them shiny and happy and feel powerful and confident, and how to deal when the clouds come over their star, and how to, we give them the tools to think about, okay, if a friend is being mean to you, how do you express that emotion? That's a huge one, is the idea of emotions not being good or bad, but maybe comfortable or uncomfortable. And how do we deal with comfortable and uncomfortable emotions? We teach girls things like being intentional about choosing friends. Who do they want to surround themselves, and what makes a good friend, and how can they be a good friend? There's a great lesson called Being a Star Sparkler. And that's really about being a stand-buyer versus a bystander, standing up for people when they're facing adversity. So there's a lot of lessons like that, but those are some of the core ones. The other lesson that I personally love is our stop and take a breather lesson, which frankly, not just little kids, but adults could use. And it's teaching them how to respond to situations versus to react to situations. I think we're so programmed to just instantaneously receive feedback or give feedback. And the stop and take a breather lesson teaches girls that when things are hard, when you're in a difficult situation, take a step back, give yourself the space to take a few breaths, and then be intentional about how you want to respond in that situation. I'll tell you the number one thing I hear from coaches in our program is they come back time and time again, not just because the girls experience, but because as an adult, these lessons are really important for them as well to be reminded of. So, in that way, everybody wins through Girls on the Run.
That is so true. Like, what a better way to learn these things than to teach them and then have them be flowing through your adult life,
Yeah,
because maybe you didn't have a Girls on the Run program.
absolutely.
If you love what you've been hearing about Girls on the Run, I would encourage you to get involved with our Miles in March challenge. We are donating money with every mile that is walked, run, stepped. It does not matter how you're contributing your miles. We are committed to helping Girls on the Run, and we are wanting to reach our $20,000 goal. So if you can get in to our Facebook group, Fitness Programming by CVG, you can go to our website, constantlyvariedgear.com. All of these will give you opportunities to get signed up for our Miles in March program, get walking, get running, and get donating to Girls on the Run. Every single mile counts. And all of the links for all of these will be right in the show notes for you. So all you've got to do is click the show notes, get involved, contribute some miles, and we'll give the money. One thing I really want to hit on that you mentioned that I think is super, super important is the aspect of the friendships. We know that young girls are very community driven already. I think it's sort of an innate character trait of being a woman to want to be sort of part of a community and
Absolutely.
finding your place without blending in and becoming the community. And one of the things that you had said, about this really hit on me, because it wasn't, I have a young son, and the idea of how to interact in friendships, how to choose friends, how to deal with a friend who may not be being so nice. Um, it's just not as present
Yeah.
with young boys. I'm not trying to make
Yeah.
generalizations. This is just anecdotal, my experience.
Yeah.
But they aren't so community driven where like everything is about sort of their friend group. And I just love the recognition of this for young girls and the guidance on how to sort of navigate this rather than well, if she's not being nice, then don't be her friend anymore. That's kind of
Yeah,
the advice we
absolutely.
got.
I mean, one of the really great things is you have a girls on the run team, and some girls might know each other, some girls might not know each other, but the coaches are intentional about having girls pair up with girls that they don't know. Or, as girls are completing their laps, making sure that a girl runs with every single member of their team. And that might mean slowing down or speeding up. But the part of the role of a coach at Girls on the Run is to help create some friendships where they might not have naturally gravitated towards one another because they've already got a friend on the team. So I love that because I think it's really hard in most social situations that young girls find themselves in to go up to someone they don't know or to how to act when another girl they don't know comes up to them. But we're giving them things to talk about, specific scenarios, specific topics. And so we're really helping facilitate those connections. And so it really is, running can be a really individualized sport, but
Yeah.
it also can be a really big team sport as well. We teach the girls to cheer their teammates on when they have finished their laps for the day. They don't just sit down and, start doodling. They're there and they're cheering their teammates on until the very last one crosses the finish line, which I hope is a lesson that stays with them in lots of different ways after the season is over.
That's fantastic. You mentioned, a lot of similarities between the elementary school curriculum and the middle school curriculum, but we do know that as girls get a little older, they face sort of different challenges. And you've introduced the Heart and Soul program, which is your 6 to 8 grade program. How are the challenges that you see with some of your middle school girls different than some of the ones that you see in your elementary school girls? And how does your programming sort of reflect this?
Yeah, the Heart and Soul program, while it's still a smaller overall percentage of the girls that we serve, that program has actually been growing a little surprisingly organically. I think there's such a desire that young girls have, middle schoolers in particular, to be involved in something that's not competitive, that allows them to be outside, gives them the space to think about and articulate their emotions or how they're feeling. I think, when it comes to sports, by the time a girl gets to middle school, it is competitive.
Right.
If they haven't started playing soccer or field hockey or something by the time they get to sixth or seventh grade, the likelihood that they're going to be on a team or be played on a team is low. And so for
Yeah.
girls who do want to do something physical, this is a great option. I think, particularly with social media, it is harder and harder for middle school girls to make connections. We know that girls' self confidence begins to decline at age 9, and their physical activity begins to decline at age 10. So, without an intervention like Girls on the Run, that just continues throughout adolescence. So, again, we're focused on the confidence building, the resilience building. Um, in the Girls on the Run program, the Heart and Soul program, we talk specifically about something called the Girl Wheel. And the Girl Wheel has sort of every element that makes up a girl, their brain, their body, their emotions. And we ask girls to be intentional about thinking about each of these sections of their wheel and making sure that they're doing the things and surrounding themselves with the people that are going to fill those sections up. So the middle school girls can be a little bit more challenging to coach. We keep those teams a little bit smaller. But again, I hope that the lessons that they're learning are lessons that they're going to be able to take away as they continue out through adolescence and young adulthood.
I love that. I really, the more I, learn about the practice of being intentional and giving this gift to young girls, it's just so, all I hear from being intentional is that you have power.
Mm-hmm.
Like a previously powerless a feeling of powerlessness in any kind of situation, when you bring intent to it and you say, like, actually you can choose how you want to respond to
Yeah.
this. And I just think it's such a theme with middle schoolers that there's such a feeling of powerlessness. It's just like everything is just happening to me, and giving these girls the tools to be intentional, I think just gives them power. And there's nothing more important, I think, at that age than
Yeah.
feeling a sense of power over your direction.
Yeah, and that power, that's confidence, right? That's what we
Yes.
want.
Yes.
Like, if you look at female CEOs, right, most of them have participated in sports and in particular team sports because they derive that power and their confidence from those kinds of relationships and that goal setting. So, yes, absolutely. It is such a great intervention at a time when, girls are just told what they can't be, what they can't do, how they should and shouldn't show up in the world. So, yes, to teach them, and in fact, they can make decisions for themselves. Super powerful, especially as they get older.
I want to talk about a brand new program that you guys introduced in 2024, which is called Hello Superstar. Tell us a little bit about the motivation to start this subset of the program and some of the goals behind Hello Superstar.
Yeah, so Hello Superstar was launched by Girls on the Run National back in 2024 to really double down on the confidence building piece. So prior to that, there had been another curriculum where a lot of the values and ideas that we're talking about now had existed, but without the I guess, specific focus on the confidence building piece. But what we had learned, or what the national organization learned in talking with parents and coaches after the season, was the number one thing girls were taking away from the program was an increase in confidence. And so this new curriculum, it has three different focus areas. Hello Superstar is really about learning about your own individual confidence and how you can continue to grow that. Hello Mountain Mover, which is the second edition, is how you can use that confidence to help others. And then there's a third one coming down the line that'll be called Hello Bold Heart. And that'll be talking about really this emotional piece. So being able to recognize in yourself and others how you're feeling and when you're feeling it. So we know, again, that girl self-confidence is at an all-time low. So being able to introduce this curriculum, especially to girls who have been a part of Girls on the Run for a while, is just really exciting. Some of the lessons have been changed and updated, and it's funny to hear some of the girls say, oh, that's not the way we learned the lesson the last time. So you know that it's resonating, right? If they can point out
Yes.
how it's different. So it's fantastic. I got to coach using Hello Superstar last season for the first time, and I loved it. I thought it was a really great update.
Oh, that's so, there's nothing better than consistently reevaluating what the needs are as like you mentioned, social media comes in and we go like, okay, what do we need now? And it's such an important thing for any organization to just always be reevaluating what their audience is in need of the most and building around that. It's so great. Quick interruption, guys. We are always talking about the importance of community to help you along your journey, to keep you motivated, to surround you with like-minded people. And we have a massive, massive community to do just that. If you haven't already, get in our fitness group on Facebook, Fitness Programming by CVG. Get on our app, CVG Nation. We've got hundreds of thousands of women on there who are just waiting to cheer you on. And we cannot wait to meet you. Get with us on our channels. We love to see you there. I heard as a kid that you absolutely hated running.
Ugh, hated it. Hated it. As I said earlier, it was punishment. Like, I grew up as a cheerleader, and I remember if a stunt fell, having to run laps, and I was like, this is brutal. I hate running. It's actually the worst.
So you are an avid runner today.
Yeah.
What was the key for you to unlocking the joy that comes with physical activity for you running?
Yeah.
And how do you hope to prevent that hatred of running? Because I think you're speaking a lot of people's language, both when you say I live for running, and also when you say like it's a punishment, it feels like a punishment.
Yeah.
What happened for you that unlocked that joy?
Yeah. So, like a lot of women, I just turned 43. So, I started running about 25 years ago. I got on a treadmill at a Boston Sports Club about 6 months after graduating from college and thought, okay, I'm going to force myself to run because I need to be healthy and fit and I need to look good. Um, and so I ran that first mile on the treadmill and I thought, okay, well, that wasn't terrible. And I was so excited to have accomplished that mile. And so I kept coming back and I kept coming back. And it was that feeling of setting a goal and working towards achieving it that kept me coming back. But staying on a treadmill was only going to last so long. So I started to enter little 5K road races just to see what was possible. And what I found was, yes, the goal setting and the accomplishment of completing 3.1 miles felt great, but I really loved the community. I loved being around other people who were going through the same thing. I loved talking about their experience and learning from other people. And so the community of running is what really I keep coming back to. I'm injured right now. I've got these guys, so I'm not running. And that's the thing that I miss the most right now is being out training with people. But it's funny because there are lots of girls who come out of our program and they love running. They've decided they hated it when they started or they didn't know about it when they started and they come out and they love it. And there are lots of girls who come out of it and they're like, nah, I still don't like running. But what they like doing is feeling good when they move their body. So they might like going for walks now with their friends or like just being outside and off of screens for a while. So while I love running and I continue to love the idea of setting goals and achieving big goals and being part of the running community, I think you can get a lot out of the sport of running without actually having to run or be an avid runner. Does that make sense?
It really does. And everybody that I talk to that is a member of the running community, and I don't know if you guys have like special access cards or like you just like flash
We're
up.
such nerds. Oh my God.
It's one of the most inclusive communities
Yeah.
in all of physical movement. I've been a part of a lot of, sports over the years, and workout programs, and CrossFit and Burn and all Orange
Yeah.
Theory, like all of these different communities. And what I see with the running community is the most inclusive, amazing of like, you know what? Your mile is 16 minutes. Come on, girl, let's get it.
Totally.
Like it really does feel like a secret society. And when I think about why, girls would be drawn to a program like this, it it definitely is that sense of community that runners give out that goes further than running.
Yeah, absolutely. I've made some of my best friends through running. There's something really magical about being on a training run with somebody where you're both sort of suffering through it, and the deep conversations that you get into that may have taken years for you two to get to, just having coffee or catching up in some other way. There's something about the physical act of being on the run or being on the move when you're with somebody that just opens up doors so much faster than I think you otherwise would connect with someone. I want to touch on the inclusivity for a second, because what's great about running is it doesn't really cost that much, right? Like, it doesn't cost a gym membership. If you get yourself some good shoes, you can pretty much go for a run. Um, we have been really intentional, not just at the Greater Boston Council, but across the country at Girls on the Run, about making sure that people of all backgrounds, of all races, of all ethnicities, feel like they are a part of our community. We serve 60% of our participants at Girls on the Run Greater Boston identify as girls of color. And so that is intentional. We have gone into the communities and said, we want to start teams in your community because we believe that every girl can benefit from running, from being a part of Girls on the Run. And so I think there's still a lot of work to do. If you look at the sport, sort of zoom out and look at the sport big picture, it is still predominantly white, middle and upper class people. But we're really trying to make sure that everyone, every girl has access to this program so that, over time, it will start to look a little different at a much larger level. So it's something I'm proud of and something that we're going to continue to work on because we do believe in the power of bringing different people to the table.
Oh, that's it, man. That is it. I want to give our listeners an opportunity to get more information as far as getting the young girls in their life involved in this, because it is so much more than running. It is so much more than team building. It's all of the things that I really feel like, I saw in Hello Superstar, one of the new curriculum had to do with we can do hard things.
Yeah. Oh.
That got me. That got me right here.
Just that recognition, right? Like remembering, yes, we are capable. We can do hard things. Just because they are hard doesn't mean they're not achievable.
And they're gonna come along, and
Yeah.
feeling like, well, this is gonna be really hard, but so far on hard things, I've got 100% success. I made it. I made it
Yep.
through
I'm
every
here.
hard thing so far.
Exactly.
Wow. I want every young girl to be able to have access to this. And I want you to let everybody know kind of where they can go if they've
Sure.
got a young girl that they think would benefit.
Yeah. So I would direct anybody to Girls on the Run's national website, girlsontherun.org. If you go to the Girls on the Run website, you can find a local Girls on the Run council in your area. And if one doesn't exist, you can learn how to start one. It's a really good time. So March is when most of the Girls on the Run councils launch their spring season. So I can tell you from the Greater Boston Council, we start March 31st, and we're recruiting girls every day until then. If people are interested in exploring coaching or volunteering, they can also go to that website and find their local council. And on each of those websites, there'll be a way for you to get involved. We're also on social media, both Girls on the Run nationally and Girls on the Run Greater Boston on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So they can find us there as well.
Fantastic. So, if you are interested in supporting the incredible efforts of Girls on the Run, CVG is running a full month of miles in March, and every single mile you contribute helps us to donate to Girls on the Run. So, you can get involved. Click the links in our show notes. You can sign up in our Facebook group. You can sign up on our website. Any means of miles that you can contribute, walking, running, intentional steps, it doesn't matter. It's all going towards a great cause. And our goal is a $20,000 donation for Girls on the Run. So hit the links in the show notes, get walking and running with us this March, and we'll help keep you moving, motivated, and it's all for a great cause. So thank you so much to Cyndi for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And we hope to see you contributing to Miles in March.